everybody, good morning. This is Jean here, Jean Truelove from Truelove Quilts for You. I'm just sitting on my back porch, just relaxing today. Second day of summer here in Pennsylvania. It's really very chilly actually. It's not very nice out. It's a bit cool. I love it though, as you know, I don't like the hot weather, so I love it. But it's not usual weather for us. It's degrees cooler. I'm just relaxing here. I'm not doing anything because I'm having a little bit of a rest, and I do have a little bit of a story to tell you. And it's just it's not a tale of woe, but it sort of is, because I got hurt. It's fine. It's like Maxwell said, it's fine. But I want to back it up a little bit, because I don't want you to think not bad of me or like, oh, you shouldn't have done that. Let me start at the beginning. My family, my husband, oh, my hair, excuse my appearance, my husband and our children, we have always been fairly avid bicycle riders, not mountain bikes. We like road biking. In fact, for many years, we had always watched the Tour de France. Years and years. My husband likes starting July in the Tour de France for 3 weeks. It's an amazing road race, a fantastic road race. And it sort of years and years ago got us spurred into buying road bikes for our entire family. We had always had bicycles for our children around our neighborhood, which was very safe to ride in, and we had a beautiful park also to ride in. But we had actually purchased quite a few road bikes, very good ones actually, and my husband had arranged our own little, we called it the Tour de Shore, and it was from our home where we used to live in Warminster, Pennsylvania, down to Point Pleasant, New Jersey, which was about a 68-70 mile journey from our front door to the boardwalk beach there. There was a sort of a back around the back houses going through the horse farms of New Jersey. There was a ride that we did almost 70 miles from our door, starting at 5 o'clock in the morning, with lights and backup vehicles. We would have our vans coming. We would go one way over the Trenton the World Takes Bridge over Trenton, New Jersey, and then the back way down to Point Pleasant, New Jersey, down to the shore. We would then all meet at this restaurant on the boardwalk, and we would have our support vehicles, our vans and trucks, to help us take the bicycles all back home after a lovely day on the beach. It was a real nice once a year thing. I never did the 68 miles door to boardwalk. We would meet in a place called Allentown, New Jersey. It's sort of in horse country at a little cafe there, and I would do the remaining 35 miles on my nice road bike. And I could do that. We would train for it. I could do it quite easily, considering I'm overweight. We were older, and I have to say, when I was younger, I was extremely fit and would do lots of crazy things. As we get older, I put on a lot of weight, and I'm not quite as fit anymore, but I think underneath my fat, I'm like fit. Because I can do that. I could ride a bike like very easily. I can ride my road bike with no hands and everything. I was very athletically inclined. Anyway, we would do that for years. We did the Tour de Shore, what we called it, and had a lovely time. And about 20 people would go, young and older, and we would all ride. It wasn't a race. It was a road trip, a bike trip. Whether it took you 2 hours or whether it took you 4 hours or 6 hours to get down to the shore, whatever it was just a lovely thing. We did that for many years. And then we would also, my husband and I and Maxwell and Niles and Elliot, when they all lived at home, we would ride around in the park. We had a beautiful flat park where we used to live. It was really nice, with a bicycle, 2.5 mile bike trail. Anyway, what happened was I had gotten this beautiful bike. I had gotten a really nice carbon fiber road bike, very expensive bike, and I had all the gear, of course. We then moved from our family home, as you know, into our home that was destroyed by the tornado and the flood. And even so, even at that home, we lived right next door to a park. It was more of a gravelly walking trail, which we would ride our bikes on, but it wasn't as great. But we used to ride even then. Well, what happened is when our home was flooded, at that point, my bicycle was in the basement. And as you know, the basement filled up with water, and with 7 foot of water, and ruined everything in our basement. Everything. And the day after the flood, we had an entire crew come, and all about 25 of our friends come, and I was in shock because we had just survived a natural disaster. Ian was a bit in shock, but our sons had arranged several crews to come and do the dirty, filthy work, cleaning out our basement, getting rid of what was toxic waste at that point. Well, and there was 2 massive dumpsters in our front yard. I think I told you the story. I went, and my friend Jen and our daughter I was in shock, and they were sort of leading me around because I wasn't coherent, because I came back to this, we had escaped from the disaster, and I came back to the disaster trying to figure out what could be salvaged and saved, and they were literally physically leading me around, and on the dumpsters, 2 dumpsters filled, were all my possessions. It was very traumatic, that were in the basement, and I mean nice things, that because we had moved, you know the story. So everything was being thrown into these dumpsters by this crew who didn't really know us. They were a hired crew. Anyway, I walked around the front and I saw my bike on the top of the dumpster, my almost $3,000 road bike on top of the dumpster. Yes, it was coated in muck and brown, but I'm thinking, I did have the presence of mind to say, wait a second, bikes can get wet. Bicycles can get wet. Why are you throwing away my bicycle? And I retrieved a couple of things of metal from the dumpster that could have been cleaned off. But as you know, everything just sort of got thrown away in the confusion of everything. My china. But I had the presence of mind to say, get my bicycle. I was very upset about that. Anyway, long story short, the bicycle was in storage. We got it out, and we moved to our lovely home here. We're settled, and the trauma's behind us. But we go for a walk often. We do not live, well, we live about 3 miles away from maybe 2 miles away from a lovely park, but it's going there, it's getting there. Whereas we used to live on the doorstep, we would go for walks and bike rides. We do have our long lane, but it's actually quite a hill to go down our lane, which we walk. Ian and I walk it a lot to get exercise. Now, we are older. I'll be 67, my husband is 75 years old. And we know we have to take it steady and everything, but my husband has been, since his car accident, he's trying to rehabilitate and ride just down the lane on his nice bicycle, very, very carefully, to keep a little bit of motion. As we get older, we really do need to keep moving. So in addition to the walking, we're doing a little bit of bike riding, or my husband is. So yesterday, he said, why don't you get on your bike? And I thought, I've been looking at my bike, and it's been full of mud. And it's so discouraging to me because it was such a beautiful bike. And the tires were flat, and it just reminded me of the disaster, of the flood. And I've been looking at it in the corner of our basement. I thought, nah, I'm not going to get on the bike. Plus I'm old and I'm overweight, but I know I'm fit, believe it or not. Anyway, he cleaned the bike up. He said, why don't we just go for a little ride? The brakes worked. He looked at the gears. Everything was fine. It really is a fabulous bike, and I can go really, really fast on this bike. Not that I want to, but the gearing is beautiful. It's a really, really good bike. And I miss bike riding. But I said, I'm not going to go on the road anymore, ever. The Tour de Shore is off. Even our boys, they're getting older, they have family. It's too dangerous now to do that kind of excursion on the roads with crazy drivers. Been there, done that. But I know I'm capable. Carefully, not stupid. So anyway, yesterday, Ian set up the bike, he cleaned it all off, and stupid me, I had on Crocs. Silly me. I was like, oh, I was having a good day, like, yeah, I'm gonna get on my bike. I don't know if you can see. I fell so hard. I hurt my wrist. I hurt my elbow. My back is all bruised. What happened is I wasn't silly. I wasn't being silly about it. I was being extra cautious. As we're getting older, we're doing everything, as I'm sure so many of you people who are getting older too, I do everything the same, but I do it very slowly. I go down the stairs very slowly. I hold on. I do things slower as we get older. Or even though I'm fairly fit and healthy, I do things slower because of getting older. So I was seriously carefully putting my leg over my bike. And as you know, or maybe not know, that road bikes, your seat is up higher, much higher than a regular like mountain bike, because you're leaning over, and believe it or not, to us that's more comfortable than riding like this. Leaning over with a really properly geared road bike is fabulous on roads, on a nice path or something, as opposed to mountain biking on trails. We enjoy the road biking aspect of it. So I was trying, right outside of our garage here, I was trying to lift my leg with my silly Crocs, stupid me, over the seat, and the grass to the sidewalk to the road is uneven, and I hadn't even gotten on my bike, and I flew. I went down, hit my face, hit my wrist, and then Ian was about 20 foot away, and he says, oh darling, you rolled beautifully, and I rolled on this side, and I smashed my face here, and I hit my shoulder, and my arm, and my hip. I felt, you know how you feel like more of a fool, and I'm thinking, why am I feeling a fool? Like, not that it would have happened to anyone, but maybe it would have happened to anyone my age who was sort of like, I don't want to go on a bike ride. It was just on our little private road. No way am I going on the park. No way am I going on the road. I just wanted to experiment and see, if I can do this. Well, it was like the old adage, you fall off your horse, you got to get back on. Ian came running. Oh, he was startled. He's like, oh dear, but you rolled beautifully. I'm like, oh, thank you. I know how to fall, right? Oh, everything hurts. Everything hurts. And I woke up and you can't really see it. I had this bruise on my face, and I thought my eyes a little bit blackened. And Ian's like, oh, people are going to think I hit you. I'm like, no, I fell off a bike. Silly. He says, well, do you want to get back on? And I'm like, no. Anyway, I did. I thought, that is ridiculous. Come on, Jane, you can do this. So I got back on. My bike is fabulous, I must say. So I went all the way down the lane with my brakes, very, very slowly, very cautiously. And it's really a hill. I'm going to take a picture. It's really a hill down that you don't think it. It's a long lane down, and then coming back up. I could only make it halfway because I wasn't quite sure with the gearing. Again, you have to do the gears and everything, the shifters, and I completely forgot about that. So I went away from Ian because my bike is geared really good. He has a good bike. He has a Specialized. I have a Giant, but my bike is newer and it's really beautifully geared. It's very lightweight. So I look like I'm a really good bike rider on it. He said, why did you race away from me? After I fell, right? And I'm like, I didn't race away from you. My bike is geared very good and I can ride my bike. So, and I felt good on my bike, just coming up this little lane. But then I was very, very careful getting off. And the stupid shoes, why did I do that? That was my mistake. I made a stupid, foolish mistake. I forgot to put my sneakers on, my bike shoes that I have. And I don't have the clip-ons. They have, like, there's pedals that have clip-ons. I never had them. They're dangerous, that professional cyclists use and really experienced cyclists use. And I was an experienced cyclist that 10 years ago, but I'm that much older, but I never got the clip-ins. I always just have, I don't even have the cages, I just have petals, because I was aware of like falling, you know, because we're not spring chickens anymore. And this spring chicken sprung. So I just wanted you to feel sorry for me. I don't know if you can see it. Oh, I woke up and I'm like, ah. And yesterday I thought, oh, it's not broken or anything, but my wrist, because I went that way, I fell off it that way, and then I rolled beautifully, as my husband said, and I smashed my elbow and my hip. I got bruised. Why am I laughing? I'm in pain. I just wanted to tell you that story. I used to ride miles and miles and miles, and I had the whole kit and everything. And it was, I guess then was then, now is now, folks. But we do want to keep moving as safely as we can. So that's just another true love story. I used to be quite adventurous. We were when we were younger, weren't we? But now, I mean, I used to go paragliding. I have a picture, put it up. My girlfriend and I, this is when we were married. We had 10 kids. We went to an island and we went paragliding. Even Ian and her husband wouldn't do it. We were way up in the thing. We used to do lots of crazy things. And of course, our boys now have their quads. They, you know, they're all fathers and have children, and they have their quads and all. But they do all have road bikes. And one of our sons said, why don't we do the Tour de Shore again? And Ian's like, no, not on the roads, even the back roads of beautiful New Jersey. It's just too dangerous now. People are crazy. But I really wanted to give it a try. I gave it the old college try, and I will actually. My bike is really lovely. And once I was on it and going, it's just so lovely. But for years, the last few years, I've looked at it, and it was all caked in mud. We didn't have the energy or the willingness or to go clean it off from the flood, but we did the other day. Ian made it all sparkling for me, and it was lovely, and I blew it. I felt a fool. And the first thing you think of is like, did anybody see me? And Ian's like, no. And I was trying to get up, and I'm holding on to Ian, who's a very strong, solid guy, but he's a little bit older, and I'm like, he's like, hold on. I'm sprawled on our driveway. It was terrible. So hopefully my face will heal. I fell right on this cheek. Oh, and my eyes a little bit. My eyes a little bit bruised. I have a little bit of a black eye there. Never mind. But that's my little tale. That's my little tale of woe. So please be very, very careful, you guys. Keep moving. As senior citizens, keep moving. But don't kill ourselves. Anyway, I hope you're all having a lovely, safe day. We are just going to go to the store and do a shop now. We have a busy weekend coming up. So I just wanted to say hello and send my love, all of the true love to all of you. And have a lovely day, folks. Bye-bye.